Hi, my name is Dan Paris, and I am the author of a memoir called As Needed for Pain. I live in New York. I have been isolating and social distancing and trying to stay safe and healthy, just like everybody else, in my house in the suburbs of New York City. I live about 30 miles north of Manhattan. Single greatest joy in my life is being a dad. I have some collages that my kids made in, I think they're probably second grade classes, hanging behind me. And they are the single greatest joy that I've ever known. I'm completely bummed out that the Harbor Springs Festival was canceled. Obviously, I understand, but still, it's a real shame. I understand from friends, other authors that have attended the festival in the past, that it is just absolutely beautiful there. The people are incredibly warm and hospitable, and I'm very sorry that I'm not able to be there in person. My book, my memoir, As Needed for Pain, is a story about my struggle with prescription painkillers, opioid pills, that I had while I was the editor-in-chief of a major national magazine. So I was the editor of Details magazine, which was published by Condé Nast, one of the largest magazine publishers in the country. And I was struggling with this addiction to prescription painkillers. Like so many people, I got started with a simple injury. I was prescribed the prescription painkillers, and it was essentially like lighting a fuse. So the book talks about, it's a little bit of coming of age, and then it kind of dives into the addiction and my job. And I couldn't be more grateful to be alive today, quite frankly. I've been sober for 13 years, and I'm very proud to share my story in my memoir, As Needed for Pain. Big influences on my work, David Carr, the late David Carr. Let's see, who else? I mean, there's so many. Michael Chabon. Joyce Carol Oates, many others. Question here that's prompting me, asked when I put pen to paper to begin a new work, is there a question that often drives my writing? I think an important question that I always ask is anyone going to want to read this? Is this a story worth sharing? Some writing is sometimes just for oneself, but when I write for an audience, it's important for me to make sure that I am sharing a story that people are going to care about and be able to connect with. The ultimate takeaway from my book is that addiction is not a life sentence, and that it can strike anyone at any time. It's the great equalizer. It knows no boundaries, and it does not discriminate. It happened to me, a media executive in New York City. It is sweeping across this country and devastating communities, people of all income levels, ethnicities, races. It is brutal, and I think one of the biggest pieces of takeaway from my book is that there is hope. There are so many people whose lives are touched by addiction, either people that are struggling with addiction themselves, have a family member, or someone within their circle that is dealing with it. I think we're all hard-pressed, unfortunately, to have to look too far within our own orbit of close friends and family to find someone that's struggling. The one book I'd like to read again for the first time is In Cold Blood. If I had to pick one body of water, it would be the Pacific Ocean. True or false? Oxford comma all the way. My views on this are changing, but right now I would say true. I always reach for plain M&Ms. Favorite podcast of late has been the Rich Roll podcast. The book's currently on my nightstand. I am reading Nickel Boys, and I am rereading Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. I'll take Thai food any day of the week, and I do my best reading at night, though I'm not able to read a ton at night anymore because I tend to sort of get very drowsy, but that's when I do my reading, unless I'm on vacation, in which case I'm more than happy to read all day long. It's nice to have a moment and this opportunity to say hello and tell you a little bit about myself. Again, I'm sorry we're not all together at the festival, and I hope we will be at some point very soon. In the meantime, again, my name is Dan Paris, and my memoir is called As Needed for Pain. Thanks a lot.